What's up, everyone, and welcome to Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. I am Eric. Up on the bar for today, arrived from Canada, Alberta Premium Cask Strength Rye, limited edition, bottled at 66% ABV. As always here on the channel, I'm going to give you a nose taste finish review of this whiskey, tell you a bit about the value, give you my final thoughts, final score, leave you with the malt musing. But first, if you are returning, thanks so much for your support. Feel free to hit like if you enjoyed this review. And if you're just joining for the first time, make sure you smash that subscribe button. That'll make sure you don't miss any of my reviews, which come out every Friday, as well as get notifications for my Tuesday happy hours, which happen every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so Alberta Premium Cask Strength Rye. For many years, only available in Canada. This has made its way to the United States in late 2020. And as some folks may know, there was the first release of this, which was bottled at 65.1%, was the Whiskey Bible Whiskey of the Year for 2021. So a lot of hype around this one. This is in the second release to hit the market here in the United States. This one is bottled at 66% ABV. So it says here we use only the finest locally grown rye grains from Canada's heartland to produce the unique taste of Alberta Premium in a cask strength for this very special release, glacier-born water, etc., etc. Aged their whiskey in charred oak casks, ex-bourbon, very likely on that. So, okay, this is 100% rye, it appears to be. It says so here on the bottle. And this is what the bottle looks like. Kind of a cool presentation that they have for these. Let's see if there's anything other information on here about the whiskey itself. Well, it doesn't look to be. Okay, so now that we got the tail of the tape, let's get this in the glass. All right. As I mentioned, this is bottled at 66% alcohol by volume, so definitely a cask strength, near a hazmat level whiskey here. Here is what the color looks like. There is no age statement, but looks like it's probably got some decent amount of age on it. All right, here we go. Wow, very strong nose. You do get some of that, of course, fresh rye spice. There's a nice kind of just like grain note to this as well. Cereal note. A bit of dark berry. A lot of sweetness. It's almost kind of acetone or Splenda, kind of like that artificial sweetener. Sort of chemical note as well. There's some nice vanilla. A little caramel. Be like shoe polish, shoe varnish kind of thing. Cleaner. Little nose is a little rough. These chemical notes, but okay, let's give it a taste. Cheers. Arrives big flavor, creamy initially on the palate, butterscotch, vanilla, bit of oak spice. And then it goes into this kind of drying finish. There's a little hints of dark chocolate, but mostly it's just charred oak. That creaminess gives way to, again, this kind of artificial sweetener, almost chemical note. There's some tart fruit. It's almost like nectarine, or maybe just like a blackberries or currant jam, something like that. Alcohol bite is really heavy as expected, probably on something that's 66%. This drinks like a very young whiskey. Little mint on the end too. Okay, I'm gonna put some water on this. Given how much ABV this is, I'm gonna put like 4 or 5 drops here just to see what else happens on this whiskey. All right. So we go back in, hints of butterscotch and toffee. That chemical note is still there. It is like Yeah, almost like a shoe polish or some type of cleaner almost, it seems. But underneath it, you know, there is some of the rye spice, that oak cask, the bourbon notes, a little bit of like maple syrup, picking that up as well. Okay, I'll give it another taste here. Water does bring out a bit more of that distillate. I mean, you're getting bigger hit of the rye spice. It's not the dill note. It's much more kind of vegetal herbal. It's got some spiciness. It tones that alcohol note down a bit. Very cloying dark sweetness, dark fruit sweetness. Again, maybe plum, stewed dark fruits, blackberry maybe. The finish is about medium, a little bit, again, this kind of tart note along with this, yeah, almost like corn syrupy, still a decent amount of heat. Yeah, corn syrup kind of just cloyingly sweet, almost like a cherry cough syrup or something like that. The bourbon notes are really buried on this. I mean, that you would usually pick up on a whiskey like this, that kind of caramelized sugar, brown sugar, the you know, the kind of dry cinnamon powder. It's really kind of hidden in the background. That vanilla is there, but it's not center stage. One more taste here. Yeah, that maple syrup note, like a dark maple syrup, like molasses, kind of mixed in with it or something. Okay, so here in the US, a bottle of this limited edition, I don't know how limited it is. So you will find this for about average $70 USD. That's a good price for a cask strength whiskey for the most part, especially with something that comes the accolades on this. But, you know, I think the lack of an age statement, the just kind of off-putting notes that I'm picking from this, I wouldn't put this at a very high value. I mean, it's low, medium value, I would say. And yeah, you should be able to find this relatively easily in terms of availability, but you know, it is limited. Again, we're not sure how limited it is. They may have other batches coming out in the future. Okay, final thoughts here on the Alberta Premium Cask Strength Rye, 66% ABV. This is not a good whiskey. I'm quite put off by the chemical notes I'm getting on this. Any complexity that this has is really kind of muted and buried by this tannicness, the dark fruit note, which really masks over even almost the rye spice at times. The artificial sweetener note that I'm picking up as well is a bit off-putting. The finish is just leaving not a great taste in your mouth. And I think at that $70 range, I mean, this is a whiskey that honestly I would avoid, considering how many great alternative rye whiskeys are out there, even at cask strength for that matter. I mean, this wouldn't, I don't think this would hold up even against something like a Wild Turkey 101 rye, or a Michter single barrel rye, which is actually much less in ABV than this one. In terms of Canadian rye whiskeys, Lot 40, which is much lower in ABV and also 100% rye, I think is just a much more pleasurable dram. This I would relegate to a mixer only, and even there, you know, maybe this would do okay in an old fashioned given the flavor profile, but outside of that, I can't say this is an enjoyable one to sip on. And at the price, it is not worth the hype. I have not had the 65.1% ABV version, which may be a lot better, but in terms of this 66% alcohol by volume version here in US release, I'm going to give this a 1.5 out of 5, which means that I do not recommend this. So that is the final score here on the Alberta Premium Canadian Rye Cask Strength. 66%. And with that, I'm going to kick you on over to your malt musing, and I'll catch you next week here on Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. Cheers, everybody.